Welcome to today's episode of Healing, Hope, and Help, proudly brought to you by Hospice of Washington County. I'm Bernadette Wagner, the organization's Community Outreach Coordinator. And today it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Karen Shara, who joins us today to talk about Life Care of Washington County, the palliative care specialty recently initiated by Hospice of Washington County. Karen comes to hospice with a strong academic background and tremendous medical experience. She received her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from University of Maryland and a Master's of Science in Nursing in 2009 from the University of Phoenix. She later earned a Certificate of Family Nurse Practitioner from George Washington School of Nursing and is currently pursuing a doctoral degree at the same university. She has more than 16 years of medical experience, having worked at Waynesboro Hospital as a nurse manager, and director of nursing. Welcome, Karen. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me.
Sure. So back in 2013, Hospice of Washington County became aware of patients with chronic diseases who needed support, but were not eligible for hospice care. And out of that, and in recognition of that need, they decided to find a way to support those folks in the middle, between full health and in need of hospice care. Can you talk to us a little bit about the initiative that they began?
Yes. Well, as you just said, working through hospice and through that organization, I think those folks recognized that there were a lot of needs and services that they could provide for the community, but yet they were identifying that there were a lot of needs that they could not. And more specifically, there was a population that I think was identified at that time where the trajectory of life was not limited per se, and so patients had chronic disease diagnosis that would not limit their lifespan, and they had some difficulty in managing that.
So it didn't limit their lifespan, but it might have affected the quality of their life.
Yes, absolutely.
And so Life Care of Washington County came about to support them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And is it also done as a team approach? Can you talk to us a little bit about, besides yourself, who else sees the patient?
Sure. Right now we do have, including myself, we have another full-time nurse practitioner and a part-time nurse practitioner as well. We have a medical director who oversees the program, but we partner within our own diverse healthcare team, providers. We also partner with providers in the community. We partner with some of the resources from hospice themselves with regards to social workers, clergy folks, if we need that, to reach out as needs for patients are identified.
Okay, so Life Care of Washington County is actually separate from Hospice of Washington County. But for our viewers, can you talk about the difference between hospice care and palliative care, and maybe focus more on that palliative care
Yes,
aspect?
absolutely. And thank you for asking this question, because I feel that in working with palliative care over the last couple of months and working toward moving this service line for the community, I think there's a lot of misnomer out there and some confusion with the two. So with hospice patients overall, the big difference with hospice is that there is a debilitating chronic disease that it has an effect on the patient for a limited lifespan. And so typically when we're looking at and evaluating a patient for hospice, the lifespan for that patient is less than 6 months. What that means is if the disease progresses past or on its normal trajectory path, that patient would have a limited lifespan identified. And so the goal of hospice is to just support that and allow that patient to have comfort and that remaining time as far as being quality. So quality is the focus. Life care is completely different. Life care, the referral can start at the moment diagnosis is made. And I think it's important to recognize too that statistics currently show us that patients or people in general over the age of 65 will have some type of a chronic disease diagnosis at the age of 65 that they will have to manage through the rest of their lifespan. That does not necessarily mean that diagnosis is going to limit their life. It just means that it needs managed. So that's where life care can come in. There's not a defined path as far as life expectancy, but the life care piece will help manage symptoms, will help give support to the patient, will give support to the family as identified through that journey. So referrals can come, day one at the first onset of diagnosis, or it could come any time within the trajectory of that diagnosis date through the end of life.
Okay. And so at any point that somebody feels that they need the additional symptom management, do they contact Life Care, or are they referred to you by a physician?
They certainly can contact us at Life Care. We will actually talk them through that whole process, but we would need to have a referral from the physician. Sometimes referrals come from primary care physicians. The referral can come from a specialist. So for example, if we have a patient that is an oncology patient and actively seeking chemotherapy, but maybe there's some symptom management that needs done with maybe nausea, vomiting, maybe some pain management, that referral can actually come from the oncologist as well.
Okay, and you've mentioned chronic disease, chronic illness.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps you can be a little more specific. What diseases are we talking about?
Sure. Well, we see a variety of diseases. You know, anything from management of diabetes. We see a lot of patients right now who are oncology patients, so there would be a cancer diagnosis.
These are people that are still seeking treatment but need support with
absolutely.
their side effects.
Yes, and I think it's also important to recognize that we do see the gamut. We have, and what I mean by that is all patient populations from infancy through, you know, up into your 80s, 90s. We even have a patient, I think, who was in their mid-90s now. So we're able to accommodate all ages.
And where do you see these patients? Are you seeing them just in the hospital or at home?
We can see them in the hospital.
Okay.
Oftentimes we have to go through the processes that are identified through the hospital to get them, but we do have an office here in Hagerstown off Eastern Boulevard in the Trilogy building. So we do have office hours. We see a number of patients there. Some of those patients we see on a weekly basis depending on what the symptoms are. We work with nursing homes, assisted living facilities, skilled nursing facilities, and then also, you know, we are available and more than willing to go out into the home environment to see patients there too.
Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Karen for taking time from her busy practice to explain exactly what palliative care medicine is and her role as a nurse practitioner at Life Care of Washington County. It's important to know that this specialized medical care focuses on relieving the symptoms and stress of serious illness and strives to improve the quality of life for both the patient and the family. If you would like more information about palliative care or other services provided by Life Care of Washington County, please call 301-671-2171. There's always somewhere to help you. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after this short commercial break.
I'm the hometown favorite.
I'll outsmart you.
I will beat you.
I'll be surrounded by fans cheering me on.
There's no place like home for fighting cancer.
My turf.
My time.
My team.
Expert care, close to home. The John R. Marsh Cancer Center at Meritus Health.
Living with a chronic disease is a daunting situation, but with help from Life Care of Washington County, you don't have to feel overwhelmed. With our palliative care team, we can help you manage symptoms and the weight of illness. Life Care of Washington County is there by your side, maximizing treatment options, increasing the quality of life, and partnering with you as you face the challenges ahead. Life Care of Washington County, we're with you. You don't have to struggle alone. Call today for a private consultation.
I've been working with Linda McCollum now for 20 years. The people in the office are very knowledgeable of what they do, and they're also very caring and customer-oriented. Our little granddaughter, when she says, "Pappy, I love you," that's just so precious. If I wouldn't have had the hearing aid on, I wouldn't have heard it.
Let McCollum Hearing Center help you rediscover the sounds of your life.
Welcome back to Healing, Hope, and Health. It is my pleasure to introduce our next guest, Jason Malott, Washington County's Register of Wills. Mr. Malott, a native of Williamsport, Maryland, began serving our county as the Deputy Register of Wills in 1999. He also served as the Chief Deputy Register of Wills before being elected as the Register of Wills in 2010. As human beings, if we are fortunate enough to have loved someone, at some point we will undoubtedly experience the heartache of losing someone. Losing a loved one is incredibly difficult, made more so when faced with the responsibility of overseeing the estate, managing financial matters, and administering the will. Fortunately, each county in Maryland has a Register of Wills who assists with these tasks, advises the public in the preparation of all required forms, and maintains a permanent record of all proceedings. Mr. Malott joins us today to talk about his role in assisting Washington County residents with these matters and to talk about a program he will be offering to help residents of Washington County understand what to expect and what to bring to the Register of Wills when they are faced with the death of a loved one. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your taking the time to join us.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Sure. So, Jason, I'm sure that being a Register of Wills is both very fulfilling and rewarding, but I'm also guessing it can be difficult at times because you're actively assisting people who are in that grieving process. What helps you be able to help others?
Well, of course, you know, we are ear to listen, a shoulder to cry on, a hand to hold when folks come through our office. I was involved in a lot of church activities with visiting shut-ins and elderly through the years, so that helps. And I also worked at a funeral home for a brief time, so that also helped as a background too. But really it's just to make the people feel comfortable when they come in and know that it is not going to be as stressful as they might anticipate it to be.
And I'm sure if there's somebody who has an inkling of what they're going through, just that shared willingness to journey with them, that does make a difference.
Exactly. And I've been in the office 17 years, so I've experienced just about any type of situation that's going to come along.
That's great. So what does a typical day on the job look like for you? How many people do you see? How long are you there?
Just when we think it's going to be a typical day, it turns into something different. But we open about 25 to 30 estates a week, and I have a staff of 5, so we all share in the responsibility. But every situation is different. Every family that comes in has a different circumstance, so we have to be prepared to direct them and give them the right information. You know, we're there at 8 in the morning until 4:30 or sometimes 5 o'clock in the evening.
Where's your office?
We are at 24 Summit Avenue in the Circuit Court building. That's on the corner of Washington Street and Summit Avenue, and we're in room 213 in that building.
Okay, perfect. I know you're going to be doing a program at Hospice of Washington County's community life centers, one in Hagerstown and one in Boonesboro, about what people should expect and what they should bring with them when they come to the Register of Wills. I was wondering if you could just give us a quick preview of what you're going to be covering, what items they need to bring.
Sure. Of course, we always tell folks to call first before they come into our office. So what I'm going to be doing is letting folks know what the different aspects of an estate can be and what they might expect on their particular circumstance. Give them who they need to contact and what paperwork they need to bring with them that will help facilitate us in opening the estate. And we try to make their visits as minimal as possible so they don't have to keep running back and forth. So it'll be an overview of what to expect, what to bring, and basically let them know that we're there to help and not to be a hindrance in their journey through whatever it is they're going through.
Yeah. And Jason, maybe we can be specific and talk about where and when these 2 programs will be held. I know you're going to be doing one at the Hagerstown Life Center, which is on 20 West Washington Street. And when will that be?
That will be Wednesday, May the 10th, and I'll do 2 programs at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., and that's on the 3rd floor at the 20 West Washington Street.
Okay, and then you're doing one in Boonesboro as well?
Boonesboro on Wednesday, July the 12th, and also at 2 and 7 p.m., and I think that's at 28 North Main Street in Boonesboro. And if you want to register for those, you can give my office a call at 301-739-3612 or contact me by email, which is jmalott@registers.maryland.gov.
Perfect. And do you have a recommended reading list that people should take a look at before they come? Is there something they can do to prepare so they're better able to move the process forward?
Sure. Our website is very helpful. There's a section on there of frequently asked questions and also a section of publications that has various different reading materials that can familiarize themselves with what they may need to do or ask for when they come in.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Jason for joining us for today's show. His role is an important one in our community, and I'm grateful that he has taken the time to help us understand and be better prepared for when we must face the death of a loved one. If you would like to register for one of Mr. Malott's workshops, please email him again at this address, jmalott@registers.maryland.gov. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
People don't realize it takes a lot to care for a family member in your home. John's dad was very headstrong, so I think that was a lot for him to get over and try to come to terms with that he had terminal illness. I would recommend everybody to get hospice involved at the get-go. When you first learn about it, get it set up. it's going to make it, I mean, it's terrible what you're going through already, but it's going to make it easier for you in the long run because we couldn't have done it without them.
Call Hospice today. Hospice of Washington County, when time matters most.
Labor's Office Furniture now has a large selection of in-stock FlexSteel home furnishings. After 43 years of establishing itself as the place to find top-brand office furniture at warehouse prices, great deals on FlexSteel home furnishings have come home to Labor's. Stop in to see Labor's FlexSteel inventory today.
Living with a chronic disease is a daunting situation, but with help from Life Care of Washington County, you don't have to feel overwhelmed. With our palliative care team, we can help you manage symptoms and the weight of illness. Life Care of Washington County is there by your side, maximizing treatment options, increasing the quality of life, and partnering with you as you face the challenges ahead. Life Care of Washington County, we're with you. You don't have to struggle alone. Call today for a private consultation.
From the smallest item of jewelry to the largest ceramic elephant, every 10,000 Villages handcrafted product makes a remarkable journey.
All over the world, our products travel similar paths, over thousands of miles and years of artistic tradition. Our handcrafted gifts represent work that builds villages and sustains souls. They are the dream of a better life made real. Every product is a miracle.
Welcome back to Healing, Hope, and Help. Our next guest is Jenna Freeman, the Intake and Assessment Specialist at HCC's Department of Developmental Education and Adult Literacy Services. Jenna is a graduate of Frostburg State University and has worked in adult education at Frederick and Hagerstown Community College. I'm excited to have Jenna on the show today because her presence here represents a triumph of teamwork and collaboration. As many of you know, Hospice of Washington County has 3 community life centers, and each is guided by an advisory council comprised of interested citizens and community leaders. Almost a year ago, the Boonesboro Council began exploring ways to assist those interested in obtaining a GED. Jenna joins us today to talk about the realization of those efforts as HCC prepares to offer GED classes at the Boonesboro Community Life Center this spring. Thanks for being here, Jenna.
Hello.
I'm so glad you were able to make it. HCC is the home of Washington County's adult education program, and its comprehensive mission is to provide adult learners with basic life skills, enhance their participation in the community, and help them succeed in the workplace and pursue their education. Wow,
yes.
That's a really big, impressive mission. Can you tell our viewers about your role and how long you've worked at HCC?
Yes. My role at the college and in the adult education program is to intake and to register new students. I also assess their skills upon entry, and I also help counsel them through educational pathways, looking at different college programs that they may be interested in and connecting them with the right people on campus to get that started.
So in your office, do you offer other programs besides the GED?
We do. We also offer English language courses for non-native speakers, and we offer adult basic education classes for students who are not necessarily high school equivalent.
Okay, and so it's in preparation of maybe taking the GED later?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and also don't you have an external exam program too?
We do. We have the National External Diploma Program. That's another option for students who want to earn their Maryland High School diploma. It's a little different from the GED exam. Students work on at their own pace with an assessor, and they complete a portfolio of work.
Okay.
By the time they're done their portfolio of work, they earn their high school diploma.
That's great. So let's talk about what's going to happen at Boonesboro. How would somebody register? How would they go about registering for that program?
Students can either contact our office, call us, or they can also register online through our webpage at Hagerstown Community College Adult Education /ABE. Okay. So there's an online registration as well.
Okay. And tell us when and where this will take place.
So the Boonesboro class is scheduled to start May 15th. It's going to be 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and it will be 6 weeks in length.
Okay, and how long will those classes be each day?
Each course will be 2.5 hours a day, so 10 hours a week.
Okay, 10 hours a week. And there will be an instructor there, and do you need people in the community to help be mentors, or do you need other support from the community?
Yes, we would love for people to spread the word about the class. We will have an instructor scheduled to teach. And we would like to have at least 10 students. Our minimum would be at least 5.
Okay, and I think one of the things that I'm so grateful to HCC for is that they provide this instruction at no cost to the registrants. And that's such a gift when you recognize people's needs to receive this education in order to move forward. So I just want to extend my appreciation and thanks to HCC. But I also really love the idea that this program is taking place there because the council saw a need in the Boonesboro area. Hospice was able to provide the space. And I'm really excited to be able to tell you and our viewers that the Boonesboro Lions Club has offered to defray half the cost of all the exams. So while there's no cost to take the class, there is a cost for the exams, and maybe you can talk about that.
Yes. The courses are free, but when students are ready to take the GED exam, it costs $45. They will take each section separately.
So is it $45 each time?
No, it's
Okay.
$11.25 per section. There are 4 sections.
And they are?
Language arts, science, social studies, and mathematical reasoning.
Okay. And they would take those at 4 different times?
They should, yes.
So anyhow, it's just typically they would have to pay the $45, but because Boonesboro Lions are really interested in supporting this collaborative effort, they have just let me know this past week that they would be defraying half the cost. So we're grateful to the Boonesboro Lions.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
and we're looking forward to partnering with you.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Jenna for being on today's show, but more importantly, I'd like to thank her and all of her colleagues at HCC who truly believe in education as a powerful tool that can change the world. These educators are committed not only to sharing knowledge with those who can get to the college, but they are committed to bringing knowledge out into the community wherever there's someone waiting to learn. As William Butler Yeats said, quote, "Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." I'd also like to thank the Boonesboro Advisory Council for their efforts to light the fire, and my colleagues at HCC for believing in this mission, and the Boonesboro Lions Club for supporting and defraying the cost of half of the GED exams. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
People, tend to want to do things with people they know and trust and respect. And so we see that that's something that happens again and again, and customers are repeat customers because they have that feeling. And the word of mouth that they share with one another and to their peers is so important in terms of generating additional business from us because they really like the feeling that this is a place you can feel good about.
I'm the hometown favorite.
I'll outsmart you.
I will beat you.
I'll be surrounded by fans cheering me on.
There's no place like home for fighting cancer.
My turf.
My time.
My team.
Expert care, close to home. The John R. Marsh Cancer Center at Meritus Health.
People don't realize it takes a lot to care for a family member in your home. John's dad was very headstrong, so I think that was a lot for him to get over and try to come to terms with that he had terminal illness. I would recommend to everybody to get hospice involved at the get-go. When you first learn about it, get it set up, it's going to make it, it's terrible what you're going through already, but it's going to make it easier for you in the long run because we couldn't have done it without them.
Call Hospice today. Hospice of Washington County, when time matters most.
Welcome back to Healing, Hope, and Help, where I now have the privilege of introducing Dolly Rock and Belinda Vaznian. Dolly, who holds a master's degree in nursing, is a clinical assistant professor of nursing with Towson University and has worked in a variety of healthcare settings. Together with Linda Humbert, her colleague, they have developed a community health nursing clinical program. Thanks to their efforts, Towson University nursing students gain critical experience in community nursing while providing free monthly blood pressure screenings for those living in Hagerstown. I'm also pleased to welcome Belinda, a senior nursing student in the community health course. Belinda, who plans to graduate with a Bachelor's of Science this spring, is grateful for her education and appreciates the opportunities provided by Towson to develop a robust foundation of nursing concepts. She joins us today to talk about her experience as a nursing student and her plans for the future. Thanks for both being here.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you could make it. So Dolly, let's start with you. Could you tell our viewers first a little bit about Towson's university program here at USMH and how many students are currently in the program?
Well, we've been here for about 10 years. It's an outreach, the University Systems of Maryland at Hagerstown. It's an effort to provide higher education for rural communities.
Okay.
So we are a state-run institution. USMH hosts us, but we are actually Towson University. And we have had about 111 students from the 2016-2017 school year.
Okay, and Dolly, you and Linda recently initiated a partnership with the Hagerstown Community Life Center to provide free blood pressure screenings, which we're really thrilled about. Maybe you can talk about how this benefits both your nursing students and hopefully why this is important for the community to take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, it is very important because high blood pressure affects 80 million people in America. A third of people that have unrecognized hypertension die from heart attacks, and half of them die from heart attacks, and a third of them will die from stroke. So they don't even know they have it. And hypertension is called the silent killer because there really aren't a lot of symptoms until it's really far gone. So it is important to screen. Who should we screen? Anyone over 20 years old should be screened for hypertension.
Wow.
Women that are pregnant can go into preeclampsia and have premature births. The risk of stroke, risk of MI, risk of kidney failure, risk of eye damage, all kinds of things that high blood pressure causes, and you don't feel any effects of it. So it's important to screen. And it provides our students with the opportunity to learn about community health, to learn about what resources are in the community. So we partner with a lot of agencies like yours so that we can actually put students in the community and help them learn what it means to be a community health nurse.
That's great, and they make such a difference.
They do.
Yeah. So Belinda, as a nursing student, did you participate in the blood pressure screenings?
Yes, I actually went to the senior center and did blood pressure screenings there, and I thought it was amazing. We went there and we took their blood pressure, and if they were high, then we told them to come back in another month, and then we told them modifiable lifestyle changes that they can do to reduce their blood pressure, like changing their diet, not smoking, or maybe going to the doctors to see if medical intervention is needed.
That's great. Now I know you're about to graduate. You'll graduate this spring, right? And am I correct in that you received a certain honor recently?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I was accepted to Sigma Theta Chi Honor Society, and I think it's about 10% of the
very limited number of nurses.
That's great. Congratulations on your achievement there. So what do you plan to do when you graduate?
Currently, I'm a CNE on the Brain and Rescue Unit floor at Johns Hopkins, and I plan to work there after I graduate.
And you already secured a position there, huh?
Yes, my manager offered me a job last month.
That's terrific. Congratulations. So, Dolly, as a professor of nursing, how much of your work involves promoting wellness and teaching about the importance of preventive medicine?
A great deal of it does involve that. As a community health nurse, that is one of the core principles of community health, is to promote health and prevent disease. So that is one of the core functions of a community public health nurse. But nurses as a whole always promote health. That's one of the major roles that nurses do. Through education, through health teaching, we work to reduce obesity, nutritional education, all those sorts of things. So nursing is mostly and going even more as we go into community health promotion and disease prevention. We also do the medical skills, but we really try to focus on those.
There's a strong component of supporting people in the knowledge that they can manage their own health, and that's a big part of community nursing.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Michelle Obama once said, "Communities and countries and ultimately the world are as strong as the health of their women." I'm grateful to Dolly and her colleague Linda for focusing on improving the health of our community and for their commitment to educating the next generation of nurses. I'd also like to thank Belinda for joining us on today's program and wish her well on her graduation and her upcoming nursing career. I'd also like to thank Dolly for being here and for facilitating the monthly blood pressure screenings at the Hagerstown Community Life Center. If you would like to have your blood pressure checked at no cost, stop by the Hagerstown Community Life Center, which is 20 West Washington Street on the 3rd floor, on March 28th or on Tuesday, April 25th, both at 2:30 p.m. Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Healing Hope and Health. I'm hoping for your continued health. Until next time, see you then.